Well, for more on the conflict and on the prospect of a ceasefire, we're joined by Hisham Al-Omeisy. He's a political analyst who's in the Yemeni capital, Sana'a. Thank you for being with us this morning. Hisham, the ceasefire in place has been violated repeatedly, yet both sides say they're optimistic about the path to peace. Do you think optimism is justified?
It is. It is out of a sense of desperation, despite the fact that the ceasefire has been violated on multiple fronts. And that is basically because not all the parties are on board with the ceasefire. The main parties of the war want to see an end of the war. It cannot go on forever. Saudis, they're losing a lot of money pushing into this war. Houthis are also losing a lot of people and a lot of weapons on the ground. It is draining all the parties, all the warring parties. They need to see an end to this war. That is exactly why they're optimistic. They need an exit.
Okay, so they need to get out of this. Nobody is really profiting from this war, it seems. And what's holding up, then, the movement towards peace if both sides seem willing and optimistic?
Well, one of the main things is that the government is insisting on implementing Resolution 2216, which basically stipulates that the Houthis hand over arms to the state, that the Houthis pull out of the cities, which is the point of disagreement between the Houthis and the Saudis and the Yemeni government. Hence, the Kuwait talks. They will agree on a mechanism where the Houthis will pull out of the cities, while all the armed groups also will pull out of the cities, and there's going to be a transitional period where within there will be an agreement on a state for a specific period of time where there's going to be a political dialogue to agree on a form of state for the coming period.
So they're still working on the mechanisms. Very briefly, if you can, tell us about the humanitarian situation in Yemen right now. What's it like for the people living there during this conflict?
There's a humanitarian catastrophe, actually, in Yemen. 82% of the population needs aid. Unfortunately, with the UN only having 16% of the $1.8 billion they demanded in terms of aid for Yemen, it is drastic. They cannot supply that aid yet. We're hoping for the international community to pitch in more money after the Kuwait peace talks so that they would at least help alleviate the current situation.
Okay, Hisham Al-Omeisy there in Yemen. Thank you very much for your analysis.
Thank you.